Thanks for joining us this morning. President Trump says that his meeting in Alaska with Russian President Putin was very successful. On Truth Social Saturday morning, the president said both his meeting with Putin and a phone call with Ukraine's President Zelensky said European leaders went very well. He said that all sides agree the best way to end the war is through a peace agreement, not a mere ceasefire. Zelensky will be visiting the White House today, and Trump is hopeful he can schedule another meeting with Putin if that White House visit is successful. He says that potentially millions of lives can be saved. Here's One America's Eddie Padilla with more on the summit in Anchorage.
President Donald Trump, joined by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, held nearly 3 hours of direct talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin and senior aides. Following Friday's meeting, the two leaders held a joint press conference where they described the meeting as productive and constructive. Although no formal deal was reached, Trump emphasized their agreement on several points and reiterated his commitment to bringing Ukraine and other world leaders into the discussion.
So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them.
During his remarks, the Russian president said that if Trump had been in office in 2022, the war in Ukraine would not have happened.
Today, we hear President Trump saying that if he were president, there would be no war. I think that would have been the case. I confirm that, because President Trump and I have established a strong, practical, and trusting relationship, and I have every reason to believe that by moving down this path, we can end the conflict in Ukraine, and the sooner, the better.
President Trump added that he and Putin both wanted to see the violence come to an end, and that they would probably be seeing each other very soon. After the meeting, the two leaders were seen talking backstage, and in English, Putin suggested that the next discussion should be held in Moscow. The summit reinforces Trump's leadership on the global stage, positioning him as a central figure in efforts to stabilize Ukraine. Eddie Padilla, One America News.
Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal introduced legislation that would designate Russia and Belarus as state sponsors of terrorism due to their alleged kidnapping of thousands of Ukrainian children. NBC reported on the bill Saturday, saying the bipartisan legislation seeks to hold Russia and Belarus accountable for tens of thousands of displaced and kidnapped Ukrainian kids. The bill would give Russia 60 days to prove these children are safe and being reunited with their families, or else be designated as a sponsor of terror. European leaders are set to join Ukrainian President Zelensky in his meeting with President Trump. Cheryl Pena has more.
European leaders will head to Washington on Monday to rally around Volodymyr Zelensky as Donald Trump presses Ukraine to accept a swift peace deal with Russia. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, French President Emmanuel Macron, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer met on Sunday to coordinate their support around Zelensky's position. Ultimately, our desire tomorrow is to present a united front between Europeans and Ukrainians at this moment of conflict resolution, Macron said. The allies are hoping in particular to lock down robust security guarantees for Ukraine that would also include U.S. involvement. The meeting comes after Trump's summit with Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday. On Sunday, Trump promised big progress on Russia in a post on social media, but did not go into detail. According to sources, the U.S. and Russian leaders discussed proposals for Russia to relinquish tiny pockets of occupied Ukraine in exchange for Kyiv ceding a swathe of fortified land in the east and freezing the front lines elsewhere. The proposal was swiftly rejected by Zelensky. Russia already controls a fifth of Ukraine, including about 3/4 of the Donetsk province, which it first entered in 2014. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Sunday there's enough movement to warrant follow-up talks, adding both sides will need to make concessions. He warned that Washington cannot force peace if neither Russia nor Ukraine is ready. Speaking alongside European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen on Sunday, Zelensky said that current front lines in the war must be the basis for peace talks. Von der Leyen will also travel to Washington, as will Finland's President Alexander Stubb and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni.
First Lady Melania Trump writes a peace letter to Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling him it's time to protect children and future generations around the world. Attorney General Pam Bondi shared a copy of the letter written by the First Lady and hand-delivered by President Trump. In an expo Saturday, and in the letter, the First Lady said, as parents, it's their duty to nurture the next generation's hope, adding, as leaders, the responsibility to sustain our children extends beyond the comfort of the few. She goes on to say Putin can single-handedly implement this vision with the stroke of a pen, and said in protecting the children's innocence, he could serve not just Russia, but humanity itself.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.